Hi, this is James Gordon of October Library here with my second video review today. You saw me do the review with Roland Maffei Snow. Now onto the second one, which is part of the Cyberpunk Trilogy, with the first book that kicked it all off, William Gibson's Neuromancer. This was first published in July 1st of 1984 by Ace Books. The name Neuromancer means wizard. I discovered that when I was doing some research on this novel after finishing it. This is the book that kicked off the whole cyberpunk genre back in the early 80s. Even though Gibson said that this was just supposed to be a standalone novel, he ended up writing two more books, which would become the SPOLIER series. I read the second. I read the first book I read, and I read the second book, which is Count Zero, and then his third book, Mona Lisa Overdrive. I really didn't like that one. I really didn't like it. And then I got his collection of short stories, Burning Chrome, which actually came first, then Neuromancer. But I'll discuss Count Zero and Burning Chrome in later on in the Cyberpunk Trilogy. There's not really much of a synopsis on the back of it, so I can't read anything about it. But anyway, on to the review of Neuromancer. Oh, and spoiler alert, as I will be giving away crucial details within the story, too. Plot. Henry Fawcett Case is living in the dystopian underworld of Chiba City, Japan. A once highly skilled console cowboy, a hacker, but after stealing from his employers, they damage his central nervous system with a mycotoxin as punishment, leaving him unable to access the cyberspace, a virtual reality data space dubbed the Matrix. This leaves Case depressed and having suicidal thoughts, stating he hates being trapped in his body of meat, calling it a prison. To add to his bad luck, Case owes money for a drug lord, Wage, who's been trying to kill him. When Case is about to get the business end from Wage and his goons, he is saved by Molly Millions, who slices them to pieces. Molly is an augmented laser girl and mercenary with fingernails that turn to razor blades. She's been hired by an ex-military U.S. officer, Entourage. He offers Case a deal in which, if he agrees to pull off a series of jobs for him, Entourage will repair Case's damaged nervous system, allowing him to jack into the cyberspace and give his Pen-X new tissue to get Case off his drug addiction. Case agrees to the deal, and after his body is repaired, he jacks into the Matrix with the latest hacking gear, spending up to 5 hours after being left out of cyberspace for so many years. However, there's a catch. To ensure that Case doesn't double-cross Entourage, he has sacks of poison placed into his blood vessels. If Case does what Entourage wants, he'll remove the sacks, and if he refuses, he'll be left disabled again. Case begins a close and personal relationship with Molly, as both of them don't know what Entourage plans are, which they begin looking into his background while traveling around the world, hacking and stealing data from different places. After investigating further, both Case and Molly learn Entourage's true identity was Colonel Williams Corto. Corto was a member of Operation Screaming Fist, which was planned to infiltration and disrupting Soviet computer systems. However, the mission went awry when Russian defenses attacked them with an EMP, shutting down their computers and flight systems, along with the laser defenses. Corto and the few survivors steal a Soviet military helicopter and try escaping through the heavily guarded Finnish border. During the flight, the helicopter is shot down by Finnish forces. Everyone is killed in the crash, but Corto survives, but is left disfigured from the wreck. Later, Corto is visited by a U.S. government official who returns him back to the States to receive computer-aided psychotherapy and reconstruction surgery. When Corto learns the true nature of his mission, he kills the official and disappears into the criminal underworld, going by the alias Armage. In Istanbul, the team recruits Peter Rivera, an artist, thief, and drug addict who is skilled in detailed holographic illustrations with the aid of sympathetic cybernetic implants. But Rivera is a sociopath. Entourage coerces him into joining the team. The trail leads Case and Molly to Wintermute, a powerful artificial intelligence created by the Tesser Ashpool family. This family spends most of their activity time in cryogenic preservation in a labyrinth mansion known as Via Straylight. Located at the one end of Free Site, a cylindrical space habitat at L5, which functions primarily as a Las Vegas-style space resort for the wealthy. Wintermute reveals itself to Case through a simulated personality of one of Case's associates, and as it lacks the ability to form its own personality. It's one half of a super AI and wants its other half, Neuromancer, to form a complete AI. It also tells Case that it's recruited Carto through a bedside computer during his original psychotherapy to get what Wintermute wanted. This causes the attention of the Turning Police, whose job is to prevent AIs from exceeding their built-in limitations. Case is arrested while Molly escapes, but Wintermute kills Carto after his purpose is fulfilled by ejecting him into the vacuum of space. Just as the Turning Police are about to take Case on board a helicopter, Wintermute activates the orbital casino security and maintenance systems, killing the officers, allowing Case to escape through a train tunnel. He later hooks up with Molly, along with Malcolm, a close friend of his, to find out what Wintermute's true plans are, and it could spell disaster for the Matrix if he rejoins with its other half, Neuromancer, or does Wintermute have more in store for Case? While this novel is interesting to read and seeing the world as a very high-tech yet dark place to live in, almost every place that Case visits is gritty and dangerous where only the strongest and smartest will survive. And even the high-end wealthy areas are crawling with scum just waiting to make their move to ensure that they stay on the top spot forever. Gibson's characters are well crafted and layered into detail, giving you a good idea of who you're following within the world of Neuromancer. And this being a novel from the early 80s, it's very ahead of its time. While some criticize Gibson failed to show the popularity of cell phones, I do remind you that back then, cell phones weren't that big, so how would he have known a small device that can make a call from anywhere would become the next big thing in today's world? Now, what I didn't like with Neuromancer, as there are scenes that I can understand what's going on, and others I had a hard time following the story. Well, Gibson does give detail within the novel, however, I wish he went further with it. Because if you're not tech savvy, then you won't understand terms for pieces of hardware or different terms with hacking, cyberspace, and more. Even when the characters are moving around the world or doing things, Gibson will only give small bits of detail of what's going on, and in others, he doesn't say much, making it difficult to picture scenes in your mind. One odd thing is that some characters use the strangest choices in weapons. For example, when Case buys a Chinese copy of a Walter PPK that's chambered for 22, while being hunted by Wage and his goons, which of course have better weapons. And in Istanbul, Molly picks up a Japanese World War II pistol, a Nambu, calling it a neat gun, when in fact it's one of the worst pistols because of how weak it is and it's with its small caliber bullet. I wish Gibson would have picked better weapons than some of his choices, as these would never work keeping any of the characters alive should they get into a shootout. Hell, Gibson could have had fictional weapons instead, and I would have been fine with that too. And lastly, the final act in Neuromancer was a chore to get through. Very hard to understand some of the scenes and lack of detail when it was needed the most. And the relationship between Case and Molly that starts off strong then suddenly falls apart and no reason is given to the reader. If Gibson added some more action, then it would have helped with the pacing of this novel. I also felt Neuromancer could have been better if it was made into a graphic novel instead of a paperback. Gibson could have had something like Alan Moore's Watchmen. Would have helped understand the story better. Overall, Neuromancer is a very important novel to read because it kicked off the cyberpunk genre back in the 80s. While not an easy novel to read, I still enjoy it for what it is, and if for anybody who's big into the cyberpunk stuff, then you need to check out Neuromancer to see where the whole thing began. Alright, that's it for the review today. Sorry it took so long. I'm going to try to read Count Zero more, so that way I can get these reviews up faster, but I do like taking my time, though, with reading, so just trying to make sure I don't fall behind too much on Count Zero and the other books I have planned on reading as well. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the review. Please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook group, Tor Library, the same name, and the YouTube channel as well, a place you can post, share, and review fiction. Until then, I'll catch you all later.